What's up, guys? Today we're learning how to play a pretty awesome hero, Arc Warden. Right now, this hero is so versatile and flexible that you can run either a magic damage build or a physical damage build. And either way, you'll have a solid win rate if you know how to play him properly. So today, we're going to break down all the setups, nuances, builds, and tactics. I'll do my best to show you that this hero isn't as difficult as he might seem. I've put together all my knowledge about Arc here. Over time, I've played nearly 1,000 matches on him across all MMRs from 1,000 to 10,000, so this info will be useful for both new and experienced Arc players. If you find it helpful, I'd appreciate a like, brothers. Alright, so Arc is a ranged hero whose main strength comes from his ultimate, which creates a clone of himself. This clone has the same stats, abilities, and items as the main hero, and crucially, it can use all active items like Midas, Orchid, Hex, and so on. The clone itself only lasts 24 seconds at max level, but in that time, it can have a massive impact on the map. For balance reasons, the clone is slightly weakened. Its movement speed decreases over time, up to -35%, and it has a chance to miss its attacks. This means the clone will miss 35% of the time, unless it has an MKB or Bloodthorn. But don't worry, it's not as scary as it sounds. Thanks to the clone, Arc has incredible options for accelerating his farm, most notably, the ability to use Midas on both the main hero and the clone. This means that every 110 seconds, we get a double gold bonus, which significantly boosts our net worth. Furthermore, Arc Warden has very strong combat spells, so even early on, the clone can contribute meaningfully to fights. And once Arc Warden gets his core items, the clone can actively join team fights and deal massive damage, all while the main hero stays safe. I'll dive deeper into this when we get to the gameplay section. Alright, let's start by talking about settings and unit control. A lot of players think Arc is a difficult hero, complaining that you have 2 units and need to cast all spells and items on each of them. But in reality, it's pretty straightforward. You just need to go into your settings and bind a key for Select Hero on F1, a key All Units on button 1, and key for Select All Other Units on button 2. And it's also essential to have a key for Next Unit, which is Tab by default. With this setup, you can quickly cast all your spells on your main hero, then instantly switch to the clone using Tab and do the same thing. Honestly, don't be scared that you won't be able to pull off the combo quickly. It's quite simple. You press Q and E on an enemy, hit Tab to switch units, and then press Q and E again. To make your button presses even faster, there's a secret. You can bind your spells to Quick Cast to cast them twice as fast. To do this, go to Settings, check this box, go to the Heroes section, find the Quick Cast tab, and assign your first spell to Q, your third spell to E, and your ultimate to R. However, I recommend not using Quick Cast for your second spell. I'll explain why a bit later. As you might have noticed, Arc's ultimate now has a cast range indicator. This is actually a very nice buff that enhances our kill potential and allows us to choose a better position for fights, especially in the early laning phase. You can now spawn the clone right on top of an enemy, and it can easily tank tower shots if you decide to dive. Alright, let's look at how our combo plays out. First, we summon the clone by aiming our cursor near the enemy and pressing R. Next, we press the 1 key to select all our units and cast Q and E on the enemy. Then, we hit the Tab key and cast Q and E on the enemy again. As you can see, it's not that difficult. In the late game, besides our basic spells, you'll also need to use Orchid or Hex on the enemy. But thanks to the Tab key, this becomes very easy with just a bit of practice. By the way, a few words about the facets. Arc has 2 facets. The first one gives us plus 1.5 to all attributes for each active rune we pick up, meaning all runes except Bounty and Water. Since Arc is now a universal hero, he gains damage from all attributes. So 1 rune gives us roughly plus 4 damage. Plus, with this shard, his second spell, Magnetic Field, pulls runes within its area towards you. So, thanks to this, you just place the field near the rune and collect it without even having to walk over yourself. The second shard, upon spawning our clone, applies rune effects to it for a few seconds. At level 1 of the ultimate, it's the Arcane rune. At level 2, it's Invisibility and Arcane. And at level 3, Haste is added. Personally, I prefer this shard because it makes the clone incredibly powerful in fights. You essentially get a free Lotus Orb, plus Haste, plus reduced cooldowns. The downside, however, is that for some reason, when using Midas under the effect of an arcane rune, the cooldown isn't reduced. The ability description doesn't mention this, so I hope they fix this bug. In short, I recommend this shard. Now let's talk about lane choice. The best lane for him currently is mid. He gets to the needed level faster, farms his Midas quicker, which allows us to accelerate our farm, and moreover, after level 6, he gains incredible kill potential thanks to the double spell combo, as our spells are perfect for solo kills. Now, about the item build. Arc is now a universal hero, meaning he gets bonus damage from all attributes. So we start with 2 circlets, 2 branches, and a fairy fire. We bring out Tango after the bounty route. If you know you'll be laning against a hero with spammable spells like Tinker, Ember Spirit, or Bat Rider, get a magic stick instead of a second circlet on the initial buy. Next, we bring a Glove of Haste for attack speed, which will upgrade into a Hand of Midas. The first core item is obviously Midas. Thanks to it, we'll rapidly accumulate golden levels by using it on both the clone and the main hero. After Midas, we get Boots of Speed for movement speed and then build a Maelstrom. This item allows us to deal tons of damage in fights and, most importantly, farm incredibly fast. We can send the clone to a creep wave, and it will clear it quickly with the lightning procs, scaling our farm even further. After Maelstrom, there are several build paths depending on the situation. If you're against heroes you can't kill without a silence, like Storm Spirit, Tinker, Invoker, or Ember. I really like an early Orchid Malevolence. With double Orchids, any hero melts easily. If there's no need for an early Orchid, you can first upgrade to Mjolnir. The higher attack speed makes us farm even faster and deal more damage in fights. Next, we upgrade to Travel Boots. With these, the clone can split push dangerous lanes and always be ready to join fights. After Mjolnir and Travels, my current preference is to go straight for Bloodthorn. Bloodthorn provides insane damage against enemies, especially when both units are attacking, plus it gives a ton of attack speed and solves the clone's mischance issue, as you don't miss under its effect. I consider it the best DPS item for Arc. Critical strike items aren't as effective. Following that, a Blink Dagger is an excellent pickup. It allows the clone to quickly reach an enemy, cast its combo plus Bloodthorn on a support, and eliminate them easily, while the main hero stays safe, waiting for the right positioning. Finally, the build depends on the enemy lineup. If there's a hero that's critically important to kill in fights, I simply get a Scythe of Vice, Hex. With double hexes under Bloodthorns, any hero dies instantly. Sometimes, I just get a Scotty for survivability. It also provides a lot of stats for a universal hero. Against illusion heroes, you can buy a Butterfly, which also significantly boosts our damage. Next, let's talk about skill build. At level 1, we take Spark Wraith, third skill. It allows you to harass the enemy and guaranteed secure the range creep. After that, we max Flux and Spark Wraith, prioritizing Spark Wraith because of its low cooldown. It's a pleasure to burst enemies with it, plus it helps you farm the jungle faster. You can put 1 point in Magnetic Field if you want. Sometimes, it can save you from ganks. At level 10, I most often take the talent for increased cast range on Flux, first skill. It allows us to catch enemies from a greater distance, which is very convenient and significantly boosts our kill potential. At level 15, I take the talent for bonus attack speed inside the magnetic field. This talent greatly increases our damage when we are fighting inside the field. At level 20, I always take the talent that reduces the cooldown of magnetic field. It allows us to defend our base more effectively, and in general, will deal more damage in fights because we can use the field more often. And at level 25, I always take the talent that makes the clone a full-fledged hero, meaning it no longer has reduced movement speed or mischance. This gives us a fully combat-ready unit, which is incredibly powerful in the late game. Now, let's talk about gameplay. In the laning phase, it's important to understand Arc Warden's key strength, his long attack range. You should constantly harass the enemy using your right clicks and Spark Wraith, a nuke that deals significant magic damage for low mana cost. However, don't forget to last hit creeps. You can even use Spark Wraith to secure them, as your main goal is to get Midas as quickly as possible. Arc Warden has an innate ability that grants a 4-second regeneration effect when he uses runes. Therefore, controlling water runes early on is crucial. With them, we'll always have full resources. After getting your ultimate, you gain strong kill potential, especially if the enemy mid laner lacks an escape. You simply summon the clone to tank tower shots, execute your combo, and the enemy is almost guaranteed to die. It's best to push the lane beforehand so enemy creeps aren't nearby, as Flux's slow doesn't work if the target is near allied creeps. However, even if you can't secure a kill, use the clone to accelerate your farm in the lane and jungle. After buying Midas, always summon the clone immediately and use Midas on it. Furthermore, always try to utilize the clone in a way that it gets its Midas usage off. Arc Warden and his clone have immense kill potential. So, between farming cycles when the clone is available, you can TP to a side lane and guarantee a kill by executing the double spell combo on an enemy. It's crucial to play actively on Arc and help your team. This way, you can acquire your core farming item, Maelstrom, much faster and begin snowballing hard. After purchasing Maelstrom, send the clone to farm lanes while your main hero farms the jungle, or a safe lane where you have vision. Once you have Boots of Travel, send the clone to farm another part of the map, specifically dangerous areas where your main hero definitely cannot farm safely. To clear a creep wave faster, use Magnetic Field second skill. It significantly increases attack speed, allowing you to kill creeps much quicker. After upgrading to Mjolnir, you can participate in fights more actively. I recommend smoking up with your team and forcing a fight. In these engagements, it's best to have both your main hero and the clone present, as this drastically increases your chances of winning the fight. During fights, maintain good positioning with your main hero. Don't get caught out. Summon the clone, deploy magnetic fields, and look for a suitable target to burst down. After a fight, I recommend going to take Roshan. Thanks to the immense attack speed of both units, Arc can take down Roshan fairly quickly. If you're losing, try to split push with the clone while your main hero defends high ground. Arc is a hero who can stage a comeback through strong high ground defense because your magnetic field, if placed correctly, prevents enemies from hitting the towers from outside its area. Furthermore, Arc has a great attack range, making him very effective at defending. If the game goes late, sell your Midas and get another slot for a DPS item. In the late game, Arc is extremely powerful. He has numerous options for split pushing and fighting with a clone that has no cooldown. If both your main hero and clone focus the same target, they can burst it down incredibly fast. In fact, thanks to the clone, Arc essentially deals double the damage. Regarding counters, Arc is quite weak against illusion heroes like Phantom Lancer, Naga Siren, and Chaos Knight. Arc excels at single target damage but struggles against multiple units, and often even buying Maelstrom doesn't help enough. Against illusion heroes, Scythe of Vice, Hex, is a great pickup, as with 2 hexes you can eliminate any illusion-based hero without much trouble. The key is to find the real one. Arc is also fairly weak against fast-pushing heroes like Broodmother and Lycan, as Arc needs time to acquire his core items. Heroes that can quickly close the distance also counter Arc, such as Storm Spirit, Tinker, and Morphling, because Arc is very vulnerable at close range. To summarize, Arc is a hero who farms exceptionally fast thanks to his clone, which can use all active items like Midas. He can actively help his team in the early to mid-game, so try to avoid AFK farming in the jungle. That's a losing strategy. In fights, maintain safe positioning with your main hero, while the clone can tank damage and be at the front line since it always spawns with full HP, whereas the main hero is too vulnerable early on. It's important to understand that the later the game goes, the easier it is for Arc to win, as his GPM is significantly higher than most other heroes. This information is enough to get started with Arc Warden. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Thank you all for watching. If you'd like to support my channel, you can subscribe, leave a like, and write a comment. I would be very grateful. See you!